This year, Realme launched only a vanilla Realme GT3 without a Pro. Technically, this isn't a pure GT either since it's a rebranded Realme GT Neo 5240W, which is available only in China. Still, the specs suggest that the GT3 is more of a GT2 successor, as far as Western markets are concerned. With semantics out of the way, the GT3 offers a big improvement over last year's GT2 in terms of display quality, performance and charging. However, the 240W charging is the GT3's standout feature, as it's the world's first 240W charging on a commercial smartphone. The OEM promises all-day battery life in just a few minutes of charging while a top-up takes less than 10 minutes. Of course, we put that to the test in the following pages. In addition to faster charging, the GT3 also adopts a more advanced OLED display. It's no LTPO, but it has all the bells and whistles. The screen supports 144Hz refresh rate, as opposed to the more common 120Hz refresh rate. It's HDR10+ certified, unlike its predecessor, and it's brighter and has a higher resolution. Realme GT3 specs at a glance. Body: 163.9 x 75.8 x 8.9 mm, 199 grams, glass front and back, plastic frame, illuminated RGB on the back. Display: 6.74 inches AMOLED, 1B colors, 144 Hz, HDR10+, 500 nits TYP, 1100 nits HBM, 1400 nits peak, 1240x2772px resolution, 20.12, 9 aspect ratio, 451 pixels per inch. Chipset: Qualcomm SM8475 Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1 4nm octa-core 1x 3.19 GHz Cortex-X2 and 3x 2.75 GHz Cortex-A710 and 4x 1.80 GHz Cortex-A510 Adreno 730. Memory: 128 GB 8 GB RAM, 256 GB 12 GB RAM, 256 GB 16 GB RAM, 512 GB 16 GB RAM, 1TB 16 GB RAM, UFS 3.1. OS software: Android 13, Realme UI 4.0. Rear camera: wide main 50 megapixels, f1.9, 24 mm, 1/1.56, 1.0 micrometers, PDAF, OIS, ultra-wide angle, 8 megapixels, f2.2, 16 mm, 112, 1/4.0, 1.12 micrometers, macro, 2 megapixels, f3.3, 20 mm microscope. Front camera: 16 megapixels, f2.5, 25 mm wide, 1/3.09, 1.0 micrometers. Video capture: rear camera: 4K at 30/60 fps, 1080p at 30/60 fps, Euro ICE. Front camera: 1080p at 30 fps, Euro ICE. Battery: 4600 mAh, 240W wired, PD, 1-50% in 4 minutes, 1-100% in 10 minutes advertised. MISC: fingerprint reader under display, optical infrared port, stereo speakers. Performance is also improved as the new generation uses the Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1 Society, and we are happy to see the Plus variant of the chipset since the GT2 settled for the standard Snapdragon 888. Notably, the GT3 is not the top-tier flagship model from Realme's lineup, so using last year's flagship chipset was expected. It's a potent chipset that would handle anything you throw at it. And besides, we'd bet that most users won't feel the difference in performance between the SD8 General 1 and SD8 General 2 in day-to-day use. In the camera department, little has changed, which is mostly good news. The main Sony IMX766 50-megapixel sensor with OIS is here to stay, joined by the usual suspect, the 8-megapixels ultra-wide shooter, but the rather useless macro unit has been replaced with a microscopic lens, which is a tad better. It can take some nice close-up shots. Last, but not least, the GT3 now adopts a largely different design from its predecessor with a huge camera island and customizable RGB LED lighting on the back, which Realme calls Pulse Interface Design. It may be useful to people missing the abolished LED notification light in modern smartphones.